So in South Mississippi, Sarracenia sites are still being destroyed in large numbers every year. So I decided to make a video showing some of my favorite Sarracenia sites that are in a highly altered habitat or in very, extreme danger of being destroyed. And so here at this first site, subdivision on a lake that's being developed. And what they do is they go around the edge of the lake and they build these retaining walls. And here's one part of the lake where they haven't done that yet. As you can see, healthy clumps of Sarracenia that whenever they flooded these valleys, either seeds or the plants that were higher in elevation remained after, this was flooded. All those Sarracenia that used to be in this bottom were destroyed. Very unique plants here. We're pretty far north for Sarracenia. Oh, and these are Sarracenia alata. I'm sure there used to be Sarracenia psittacina, but seeing as how they typically grow where it's wetter, they drowned long ago. This one almost has rubra style flowers. Normally whenever I go out and look for Sarracenia and make videos on it, I don't video every single clump, but seeing as how this place might not be here in a few years, that's what I'm gonna do. In a minute I'll walk over and show you the retaining walls they're building around the edge of the lake. So luckily, this site is part of a large bog complex that extends that way across that road. And a lot of those sites over there are still relatively undisturbed. But there used to be psittacina over there, but the one psittacina site was destroyed, and I haven't seen psittacina in this county since. I think actually my first video looking for Sarracenia was over there on that bog complex. So this is about the end of all the plants. The bank just gets too grown up. And see, potentially this side here would have had Sarracenia as well, but who would know? Just down the road from the other spot I was at looking at Sarracenia, I was coming to check on this spot and I actually wasn't expecting it to be gone. This used to be full of them. Looks like they cut it over and then started piling up the sticks so they could drive through this bog because of how wet it was. So I doubt any of those will pop back up, but some of this might actually work out for the better because now it'll, all this is clear. It's going to get more sunlight, and some Sarracenia might make a comeback. There's still some in the ditch here. Hard to see because they're so small because they keep getting bush hogged. Man, that's disappointing. This side of the road looks more promising for what might pop back up because they didn't really alter it too much aside from just running it over with their machinery. So hopefully this side will return in a year or two. I'm in Forest County now, and unlike the last couple of sites, this site doesn't seem to have any Sarracenia left. But there's a report from 1964 that Sarracenia alata was found within this cloverleaf. Probably Sarracenia psittacina as well, if I had to guess. But as you can see now, we've got all your typical strip mall buildings. There's still bog button. Bog button seems to come back a lot easier than Sarracenia. It's been a good minute since I've been able to go out and look for pitcher plants or any other carnivorous plants. But I'm out today, and first stop we got a really nice variety of carnivorous plants here. Obviously the most noticeable and abundant is the Sarracenia alata. Pretty common in this nice little roadside habitat. It is late July, so the Sarracenia aren't looking their best this time of year. Most of them are pretty burned, but there is some new growth. Another pretty noticeable species of carnivorous plant here is Drosera tracei. It's these long threads here, covered in dewdrops that, catch little insects. There's probably Drosera capillaris here as well, but this Drosera tracei is far more impressive. It is hard to focus on. There's another species of Sarracenia here as well. You can see these little flowers. They belong to Sarracenia psittacina. Looks like this bog goes off back into the woods. But I don't want to spend too much time here, and I'm going to keep looking for more. Found our next stop of the day here on the side of the road. Saw these while I was driving by. One of my favorite carnivorous plants around. Pinguicula lutea. This spot's loaded with them. They really stand out. There's so many of them. It's all these bright yellow spots. There and there. About the most common species of Pinguicula around. Primuliflora doesn't really grow in this habitat, and planifolia is really hard to find. Stopped at this creek to look for Utricularia purpurea, but we've been having a bunch of rain lately and all these creeks are flooded. And I found this cool waterfall, and right beside it there's another one. Very unusual in South Mississippi to see a waterfall at all, let alone two. Might come from the same source. It looks like they're maybe split by this little ridge here. I'm gonna see if I can find it.